Hello, welcome to another Assetto Corsa video. Today I want to show you some basic tuning and how to make the AI works better in the races. So let's get started. So first thing you want to have is car unpacked. For that you need to have a full version of Content Manager and developer mode enabled. And once you have data unpacked, you go here in the folder. You should have this data folder and also the data ACD. Normally should look like this. Now if it's like this, the game will only read from here and not from here. So you want to back up this one. You want to rename this to backup, and now the game is gonna read the data. This is what you want to do. Now I already did modify this car, so I'm just gonna show you what I did and what I think it can improve your experience in the game, especially if you're driving against the AI. If you're just free roaming and drifting and stuff like that, the AI things don't really matter for you. But if you like to race against AI, some of these things will help you a lot, will make your life better. So yeah, let's start with the AI file. And what I noticed is that when the AI downshifts, this number 3.7 is quite good. It makes the AI to drive, let's say, more carefully, or let's say less aggressive. They don't do like super aggressive corner entering or stuff like that. So yeah, I noticed this worked good. And also sometimes they tend to cheat, so they drive like 3 seconds above what they should have. So yeah, this is gonna make them to drive, let's say, normally as they should, especially if you're not driving on the highest difficulty. If you're driving on some lower difficulty, it's gonna make them to drive accordingly to that difficulty. Normally they tend to drive faster than the difficulty, so yeah, it can be quite annoying. Okay, yeah, also when you're changing this, you want to have, so every car has this value differently, so you want to have this as in original file. That's why it's good to have the backup, so if you mess up, you can always come here and check if the shifting up number is the same, because then the AI will just stall the car and the car won't go anywhere. Just important thing to know. The next thing is car camera and fuel consumption. So if you want a camera something more like Gran Turismo, these values are basically it. Like bonnet camera position, we all know the famous bonnet camera from Gran Turismo. I didn't saw like in any other game. It's completely different, and yeah, it takes time to get used to, or I don't know, for me I just can't get used to. I need my Gran Turismo camera. So yeah, this value, for example, is left and right. This one is the height, and this one is forward and backward. So 0.99 height is quite good, and this value 0.25 is also good. It's gonna show like most of the hood on most cars. If not, if it shows too little, you can just increase this number. No, if it shows too little, you decrease the number to all zeros, or you can even go to negative if needed. And if it shows too much of the hood, just increase this number, say like 55 or more, but that's rarely. Normally this works for every car, almost every car. Let's say maybe 80% of the cars this is gonna work just fine. You can also make roof cams. Maybe you can raise it a little bit to maybe like this, and then you push it back to maybe like this or more. Maybe yeah, I think more. And you can have like roof camera. You can play around. And the fuel consumption, we all know that the AI cars, they tend to go to the pits too early. I mean, not too early, but for no reason. They don't know how much fuel they have, so they put too little. They need to fuel up, otherwise they're just gonna stop. So yeah, normally you have like some weird number in here. That's not good. You don't want to have this number. The numbers that you want to have is something like this. So it depends on the car power. If it has 200 horsepower, it's 17. If it has 250 or below 200, it's 36, and so on. So yeah, if it has over 800, then it just puts 70, and doesn't matter after that. It can have like 2000 horsepower, still put 70. Otherwise it's just gonna waste fuel for no reason. These numbers, they should work. So yeah, if it's a random number like this, the car tends to go in the pits for in the first lap, and that is really bad, because after 3 laps the AI should know how much fuel they need. But if they always go in the first lap, they never learn. So if you do it like this, even if they go to the pits, even if they don't know how much fuel to put, and that can happen sometimes. If you're not doing qualifying, it can happen. But then they're not gonna go in the first lap. They're gonna go into the third lap, and then yeah, you can just restart the race, and they're not gonna do it the next time. Or you can just go to the qualifying, and after 3 laps they're gonna know how much. But if you have like this weird number in here, some of them tend to, even in qualifying, they will go outside of the pits. They will do 1 lap, they will come back to the pits, they will do 1 lap, they will come back to the pits, and they're just doing that. Out of 15 cars, 20 cars, 1 or 2 will do that, and then it will kind of ruin the experience, because you will see 1 car going into the pits doesn't have the fuel, just because the stupid AI car was just driving into the pits after every lap and never learned how much fuel to put. So this is what prevents this. And yeah, it's good to have it like this. So yeah, that's that. Some cars have fuel cons file in here. So if you see fuel cons in here, just put an underscore, just rename it to something so it doesn't use that. It also mess up the AI. The AI also tends to go in the first lap into the pits. So yeah, if you see fuel cons, just rename it to something else. And that would be that. Also, when it comes to AI, you wanna change electronics. The traction control also affects the AI, how it drives. So if the AI doesn't have traction control, or it has higher number, which means weaker traction control, the AI will drive careless. It will go high speed into the corners. So yeah, you really don't want to have it like that. I noticed that this number works quite good, and the AI drives more tame, but it's not super tame. It's still gonna try to overtake, but it's gonna be more careful. So yeah, this is how I do it. I just put 0.8 and it works just fine. Also, these other numbers are good. Yeah, this means 40 kilometers per hour. So if you go into the corner and you slow down to 20-30, you won't have traction control, but that rarely happens corners like this, so 40 is just fine. And that's when it comes to the AI, we covered everything. So yeah, basically traction control and AI file and fuel consumption. It's basically we covered the AI. Now there are other things you can do. For example, you can improve the brakes, like on this car maybe. You know, you can improve the brakes, but I would only suggest to go 1000 up, because otherwise, I don't know. I also felt the AI is too OP when you really overdo it. When you like now, if I do 5000 in here, I won't notice it like super crazy for me. It won't be, but the AI again is gonna really like overuse it. Like it's gonna be faster somehow. And I noticed that the AI, although it brakes in spots where it shouldn't, the AI have crazy brakes. Like these guys, they can brake so late, especially when they cheat. So yeah, I would only recommend with this to go 1000 up. So now it was 2.2 thousand before in original, and I increased it to 2.5. So yeah, I would only go to 3.2 to be honest. Maybe 1,500. Yeah, 1,500 is fine. So 3.7 would be fine. This is a brake balance. It's also important thing. So yeah, if you brake and your car tends to lose control, like to go left and right, start sliding, that normally happens when this is maybe too high to 80 or something. So you can also change that. That's basically it for the brakes. Also, I noticed a lot of modded cars have issues with aerodynamics. So you can put aerodynamics from some other car that's more stable. Just change these files, and in most cases this helps. If not, then you can also change this file, which I wouldn't recommend always to do, because this one gonna change a lot then how your car is gonna handle. Basically it's gonna handle a lot like the other car, so it might lose some personality. So I always recommend that this is like last resort. If you need to change aero, always try first this one and then test the car before you go for this one. And always keep the backup, of course, if things go sideways. You can also change the tires, quite easy. You can't break anything with the tires. The game is not gonna crash or anything. If you just change the files, if I throw now tire ini file from some other car, just throw it in here, it's not gonna do anything, like in terms of crashing or anything. But just in case, you wanna have these values. to match, from old wheels to match the new wheels. Those three, of course, the size. So yeah. I mean, now I have these, and you see it's not perfect. It's not A. Because there is two sets. One is oh yeah, those were street originals. So like, see, this is one value. Okay, this one only has these. I see. So yeah, the tires are not complicated to mess around with. Also, what you can do is change the power of the car. That's what we're gonna do now. There's two options how you can change the power. Oh yeah, but first I want to show the drivetrain. So yeah, if you want to get some more, how do I say, some better times on a track without increasing the power, you can just increase this number. So when you increase this number, you basically make your gear ratio shorter, so the car will accelerate faster, but the high speed will be lower. So if I now put like 4.0 in here, the final gear ratio is gonna be higher, and the gear ratio overall is gonna be shorter. So you can do that. Also, what you can do, yeah, we said we're gonna increase the power, and there is two ways. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I knew there is something else. Also, yeah, if your car doesn't feel all that not stable, but if it feels like the, how do I say, the rear end is weird, or it understeers, or it's, yeah, mostly understeer, I would say. And what you can do is go to setup and put this alignment from a car that works, that you like to drive, that is similar to the one that has problem, and just copy and paste this alignment. You can also do this on a car that doesn't have alignment. So if you're in the game and you see that in the setup your car doesn't have alignment, or it doesn't have other things, you can just add it from a similar car, like dampers, suspension things for adjusting. You can just add those things easily and it will work. So yeah, that is some basic things. I'm not gonna go into suspension and too much with the tires. I think with the tires you can figure out, to be honest, on your own when you're gonna mess around. The most important thing is that the sizes from the original tires. That's basically it. Suspension is more complicated. But yeah, this I would say aero tires and brakes. aero tires, brakes, and engine swap, and increasing the power. Those are the things I want to cover. So only increasing the power or decreasing the power if you have a car that's maybe too strong. You're making a certain championship and you have a car that is too strong. You can nerf the car by going in here and say, I don't know, if it's 20 horses too strong, you can just lower the digits by 5. So all these digits by 5, and you're gonna decrease it 10 to 20 horsepower. Or if you wanna increase by, say, 10 to 20 horsepower, you just add 5. And that's exactly what we're gonna do now. But first I'm gonna do the backup of this. It's always good to have backup. So yeah, just quickly do this. Something fun. And let's see how much we have. So yeah, we got 8 horsepower. The stronger car is, the more you're gonna get with this. So I don't know, if the car has 800 horsepower and you do this, you might even get 20 horsepower or close to that. This one is not that strong, so we only got 8 horsepower, but it's still good. Also to decrease, yeah, I said to decrease. Well, you can also do the engine swapping if you want. So you have engine. You need to be mindful if you just swapping, if you want the same type of the engine. Some have turbo, some no. So if you wanna do the engine swap on a turbo car, look for another turbo car. If it's natural aspirated, look for another. Or you wanna add turbo on a natural aspirated car, then look for that. Then it doesn't matter. But if you just wanna increase the power a lot, like let's say you have a V6 naturally aspirated and you want to add V8 naturally aspirated, then you need to look engine that is naturally aspirated if you're going for realism. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I covered everything. I don't want the video to be too long. So yeah, you just put you just back up your engine file and your power file. Basically, you take the engine ini and the power ini from some other car, and you just paste it in here, and then you're gonna have another engine. What you can also do is swap the drivetrain, especially if the car has the same type of traction, like rear wheel drive and all wheel drive, but maybe the gears are messed up or something after the engine swap. So it's just the easiest thing which you can do is just put the drivetrain. Again, you want to back up your drivetrain just in case, but swapping also drivetrain will fix your problems if you have them. But always try not to use the drivetrain from other car, because you still want to experience it in original. Then if things doesn't work, then just put the drivetrain from the new car and it should be just fine. So yeah, this is it basically. I covered everything I wanted to, so I hope this video is gonna help somebody. So if you find this helpful, like the video and subscribe if you find it really helpful, and see you next time.